What's up, y'all? Bomber from Bomber's Garage. I don't know why I feel the need to sing some of this stuff. Bomber's Garage origin story, version 1. All right, I'm gonna switch out hats. I did have the heat on for a bit up in here before I come in. I like turning off the light. I like setting up the camera, turning off the light, and then flipping it on like I've been up in here. Cool story. I have found this little wrench I've had for a while. It is a Ford wrench. Can y'all see that? The Ford logo on it. So cleaned it up with some double aught steel wool. Put a little bit of 3-in-1 silicone oil on it. And I'm gifting it to my buddy Zach, who he brought me like a pewter Champion spark plug mug, a spark plug keychain, and some Champion spark plug golf tees that were in a really cool little container or holder, wooden, looked like a match, not matchbox, but the little Flippy Boy match booklet of matches. That was freaking cool. So it was pretty nice. Having a cigar. I don't know if it's still lit. Suck harder. And I had some hot cocoa with the logo that Lee and I had, our Lee designed for the old Go Rucks show. Then Eagle designed this Bomber's Garage sticky boy that pays homage to like the hooker headers. Then also water. So tonight, no old fashions or a pint of beer, nothing like that. Got to get up early, so hot chocolate and water. And as y'all can tell, I like Yeti stuff. Ain't into that other one. Whatever name it is, I don't know. Not like a super fanboy of Yeti, but y'all, the stuff works real freaking nice. You know what I mean? And I've also got to clean. This is my Stetson Lariat. I've got to clean it up. It is filthy. I got the old flat hair going on. And a big old forehead. But I don't care. It is funny when folks will make comments to be snippy about my forehead. And I'm like, bro, I'm 57 years old. And all the stuff that I've done and been stressed out about, I'm lucky to have any hair at freaking all. So I let it grow. I don't care. And I've also found when other men comment about stuff like that, it makes me silly. Because I'm like, why are you looking at my forehead? Weirdo. It's freaking not cool. Don't be mugging on my forehead. I don't like it. Well, I'd have to watch this again. Out here a little bit. I'll be honest with y'all. I shot one video and I wasn't happy with it. So I'm doing this again. This is actually, well, crap. Let me fix that. Instead of version 1, we're going to do version 2. So this week has been kind of crazy. All right, we have to, if we don't clap it. Bomber's Garage origin story, version 2. 4 minutes and 15 seconds in, for those of y'all that look at that. So I did a video, went with Bug to a local junkyard in Michigan. And just for like, you know, being silly and funny, I put Michigan Junkyard super secret location. And then I put like, I'm not telling y'all where it is. People have lost their minds over where that place is. If they had watched the whole freaking video, they would see when we're leaving, you can see the freaking sign, and then you would know where it is towards the end. A few people caught that and messaged me and thought that was pretty clever. But some people were like, you know, you're gatekeeping. Why won't you let me know? Dude, it ain't my fault you didn't watch the whole video. Don't care. I thought it was hilarious. Bug and I got called dorks by one dude. Other people were like, tell me where it is. I'm going to pester the dude. I'm going to do this. I want to buy that. I want to buy that. Man, it's a cool junkyard. It's an old junkyard. The guy does not give a crap about money. He only wants to sell what he wants to sell. And other than that, he doesn't care. I didn't buy anything. I saw some stuff I wanted, but I felt I had to go out there and peruse around a couple of times before I actually hey man, I'd like to purchase this. I'm pretty memorable up here in Michigan due to my accent, so there's that. So back to the origin story. Back in the day, I had started a powder coating business in Louisiana. Powder coating sucks in Louisiana in the summer. Sandblasting with your hood and all the PPE sucks. Having a oven run 400 degrees all day in the Louisiana heat, baking, the powder and preheating and everything. It probably made it close to 1,000 degrees in my garage. I'm not going to lie. In the powder coating shop, it was wild. Once I started doing it, I just wasn't in love with it. So started a car show down there called the Twin City Bomber Bash. Luke was a dude. I had met him and his wife. He was a big motorcycle dude, took Kawasaki Vulcans and made them into bobbers, choppers, stuff like that. He was just a big Japanese bike fan. And he was kind of he goes, hey man, you ought to call this show the Bomber Bash. So Bossier City, where we held it, is the home of the Barksdale Air Force Base, which is home of V-52s and K-10s. And as I am a former weapons company Marine, an infantry Marine, we're a huge fan of air support. So it was cool paying homage to them. And I also have a chopped 51 Chevy. And that style of cars that are chopped, like the chopped Mercs and stuff like that, are also known as bombers. So it kind of had a dual deal. Back then on Facebook to advertise it, I just went by Bomber Bash. You didn't have to have your name or nothing like that. So people started calling me Bomber. It just happened naturally. I didn't choose my nickname. I had it on there, and I was like, well, this is for the Bomber Bash. Back then, I don't think there were maybe there were groups. But I mean, this is Facebook in its infancy as far as at first when it come out, you had to have a student email to be a student. Then they open it up, and now it's all, people way older than me that post the most lame stuff. You know who you are. You do it. And then, and another problem is there's a lot of dudes my age and older, and they post the selfies like this as their profile picture. And I'm like, man, you look like a freaking serial killer. Let me help you with your selfie. Back the camera up. Have a cool background. Don't stick your face up in it. Anyway, so we called it Twin City Bomber Bash. We had that car show for 10 years in a row. During that time, I got rid of the powder coating business. I went to barber school, had a barber shop, used it to promote a barber shop. 10 years, had a great run. Nobody Customs helped with it. Will Jordan, his lovely wife, helped. We had a crew from Arkansas that would come down. Texas people who had support from Painless Wiring. We got coverage in Car Culture Deluxe. We had a great relationship with Rebel Rods. Will Tuff was our liaison. So Kai at the time was the publisher and head dude at Rebel Rods. And I messaged him like, hey dude, it'd be cool. This is our, a car show we do here. We would love to be in the, deal. I didn't know I didn't know how to get in magazines. So I just emailed him and wrote him and called him up. And I'm like, hey man. So he's like, hey, here's the format, the pictures. Here's how many words. So the first year, I think we got a quarter page. Next year, a full page. And then Will Tuff did such a great job that we ended up getting a couple of features. We were on the cover several times. And then we got 4 pages, I think twice. And then 2 pages a plethora of times. Ended up having other people write for other magazines. And we had some great coverage, and it was fantastic. Got the barber business after a couple of years. I just needed to was going through divorce and stuff, went back to the oil field, was working the oil field, and then I was doing endurance events like Tough Mudders and Go Ruck events. Started doing the Go Ruck events, and that's where Bomber really stuck with people there because they were just calling me Bomber. Ended up going to work for Go Ruck for a couple of years in Jack's Beach. I was fortunate enough that my vehicles, like my 51 Chevy, the MG I have, my trailer with the car show stuff, is being stored at Nobody Customs in Louisiana. They're Joel and Suzanne, Mr. and Miss Nobody, are amazing people and have really been beyond kind to me, storing that stuff to me while I've gone abroad. Fell in love with a Michigan girl, and now I'm up here in Michigan. So I like to joke, it is a joke, it's not factual, but I used to say, like, it's down there living on the beach. Jack's Beach is amazing, at a great place, really enjoyed it. And I said that she tricked me and said, well, there's a beach up here, which there is, but I didn't figure out that it freezes in the winter and it gets cold. So there is a beach. There's Lake Huron, as we call it, and I've been to Lake Superior, which is cold. It's freaking cold. Winter's long up here. It's like 11 months in a week, and there's 3 weeks of summer. So anyway, I'm up in Michigan now. We do, how many? Well, when I first come up here, let me backtrack a little bit. I started working for Tri-City Brewing. I poured beer. I helped with events. I helped with their apparel and clean the bathrooms, mop the floors, just whatever needed to be done, I would help them do that. Had an opportunity to kind of do my own thing. I worked another little job helping my girl's family out for a while. And then we started doing cruise-ins while I was working at the brewery. Then we were also doing them at a local coffee shop. So the coffee shop is like in a strip center. 90% of the businesses there are medical, so they're closed on the weekends. So I'm talking to the owner, Josh, and I'm like, hey, dude, love to do some cruise-ins up here. Him and his sister run the business as partners. They have 2 coffee shops locally called Excited Goat Coffee Company. We did that. I ended up passing the torch. The brewery has someone else that's doing their cruise-ins up there. So this year we have 8 cruise-ins planned from April to October on Saturdays. Then we have our second annual Ugly Truck Show in October. And then our second annual Tri-City Bomber Bash. So with the Bomber Bash in Louisiana, we did those 10 years. I'm hoping in 2025 maybe. That's still pending. I would like to do a reunion bash in Louisiana, but some of y'all know that mom has dementia, and it is really accelerated. She had broke her hip, and my main focus right now is getting her settled someplace and taken care of. Hopefully 2025 we can do a reunion bash back in Louisiana. We did the first Tri-City Bomber Bash here. So in Louisiana, the Twin Cities are Shreveport and Bossier. So I was born in Shreveport, raised up in Bossier. Up here, the Tri-Cities are Bay City, Saginaw, and Midland. And it's a great car culture here. Detroit's a couple hours away. And Detroit's mostly, it's known for Ford stuff, and they have some crazy shows there. Up in this area, it's mostly all General Motors. So there's a GM factory in Bay City. The one in Saginaw built the Saginaw transmissions. So around here is definitely GM country. So the Tri-City Bomber Bash, we had the first one. Had some great friends show up. My buddy Bug from Stilson Sign and Paint, or Stilson Sign and Custom, excuse me. He showed up. He did a really cool display. Our buddy Zach went all out. He brought his Ford Futura. He brought his cab over, his vintage camper, and a plethora of other stuff. He had a fantastic display. Our friends, the Davises, come out with their Triumph and their Harley cart, and they've been super supportive. They're really great people. And then a lot of other folks that we know brought their vehicles, come and hung out. So we're really building, a great hangout for local folks with folks that we know and then meeting new folks all the time. So that's been pretty fantastic. So that's kind of where Bomber's Garage started. Where it's going is I've done apparel for the Bomber Bash in Louisiana forever. Bug, aka Stilson, he did our design this year for the t-shirt, which was pretty freaking cool. And, we've done some Bomber's Garage apparel for a while. We've got some plans in the spring to really expand that. I have been, restoring / refurbishing a lot of vintage industrial equipment. So grinders, drill presses, I think, where is it? Can you see it? No, you can't see it. So there is a Craftsman, where is it? Drill press right there, like a 150 model that I'm cleaning up and painting to finish. And then several other things. I don't think you can see anything else. But I've been refurbishing this stuff, saving it, from the scrapyard, making it new and putting it back to use. Sold a couple of like vintage, like some Montgomery Ward's belt sanders, another drill press that was really cool, and just taking that stuff, cleaning it up, making sure it's operational. If it needs a new belt, if it needs to be painted, paint it. If it doesn't need to be painted, then clean it up with some patina sauce or something like that and make it look good again. So this year we've started early with pushing the cruise ins and events. Our first event is in April 27th. So we'll have the old Ram Charger. We'll have the 68 C10. We'll have some apparel for sale and stuff like that. But that's kind of where we came from. My favorite format was Instagram. And back when Instagram started, I'm not a huge fan of Facebook. I'm not. But it's great for groups and events. And you see, I don't post everything I post on there. I keep my family stuff private to me, close to my heart. On Facebook, it's all I post is about our car stuff. Instagram used to be nothing but photos, and they went to the reel format, which is basically like, TikTok version 2 to me. You have to kind of do stuff sometimes. I think reels, they just, whatever. Not a big fan. I like looking at the pictures, but the reels are where it's at. But I have always been a fan of YouTube. Started a YouTube channel in 2010. I think our first video was our buddy Alan burning out in front of my old powder coating shop in a 79 Camaro with a 383 stroker that was a 6-speed. And let me tell you, that thing was brutally fast. And those that, know 79 Camaros, to put a stroker and a 6-speed manual transmission in there, man, he had to move the dash back, redo the firewall. He did some extensive work to make that thing fit in there and look factory, and did a fantastic job. And it is just a beast of a car. Then our buddy Keith had a GTO, man, I want to say a 67, but it's fast too. Will Jordan, we did some burnouts with, he had a sweet little bobber and then had a GSXR that was a friend of ours. Till it was maybe 2 years ago that he realized that Will was doing burnouts with that bike, which was kind of funny when I was showing that. And he's like, that's my bike. But anyway, did some Roper Rally stuff. And then when I worked for Go Ruck, did some interviews and stuff like that were on my, personal YouTube. So when I started up here, I started doing chats here and there, just wasn't consistent. but I decided to be consistent with at least 2 videos a week, like my Sunday chat and then my regularly scheduled like video of what I've been working on and projects. So had some shorts again, which are based shorts, reels, and TikToks are all the freaking same thing. People have short attention spans. I can look with analytics of how much people watch. Usually longer videos, people watch more, but there's very few who watch the whole video. So I did a Junkyard video because I know those are popular. Like, will it run, going to get a vehicle, refurbishing this vehicle and going to a junkyard are all super popular, but you can't base your channel off just all of those. There's only so many will it runs and there's only so many junkyards you can go visit. The Junkyard one, I think we're at like 8.5 thousand views, which is crazy. I think the most viewed video I have that is a regular video is a T-bucket burnout that Will and Rusty did, that we did back in Louisiana. And it's a cool burnout, but that T-bucket had some atrocious tires and wheels on it that were getting changed out. It was bought as is, and we just were trying to burn the tires off of it, and it needed a lot of work. And I think it gets a lot of traction because most of the comments are like, those tires, why would you do those tires? You didn't do this. You need to do that. Dude, we had bought it and had it 10 minutes and we're smoking the tires on it. I mean, that's what it was. And it even says that like in the description. And of course, people just look at the video and don't do that. But Bug and I went to this junkyard here. It has a lot of, newer stuff. To me, late model stuff is still the 80s. That tells how old I am. But has a lot of newer stuff and everything. But he has a huge area of old stuff. And man, the dude doesn't want to sell it. And, I see vehicles there's some in Louisiana that have been setting for, I'll be 58 this year, that I know have been set in the same spot for 60 years, and the people won't sell it. And people will fuss and bitch about that, and, they're not, dude, it's theirs to do with as they want, Yeah, it's sad to see some stuff rust away and stuff like that, but I'm like, I've seen way worse. There's other stuff in the world to be worried about. The funny thing about that video is at the end, I put super secret location. I kind of like pimped out the title. If folks had watched it towards the end and were leaving, you can see the name of the junkyard. People accused me of gatekeeping. There's maybe been 7 or 8 comments that I hid because they were downright rude. One dude called Bug and I dorks for going out there not doing this, and one guy found me. He emailed me, found me on Instagram, and was wanting to talk about that. There was a power wagon that is a gin pole truck, and patina's amazing. It's complete, but it's not for sale. The guy will not sell this vehicle. And the guy's like, I'll pester him. I'll do this. Give me his number. Give me this. Give me that. Well, one, if you'd watched the whole video, you'd have been able to see where it was and call yourself instead of pestering me about it. And I'm like, dude, I didn't buy anything out there because I know the guy won't sell that stuff until you build a relationship with him. And I'm going to do a separate video about how to talk to people and get to know them and how to get in. But it's not my time. Bug knows the guy, has talked to him, has made some purchases and worked his deal. There's a few things out there I'm interested in. I won't say what they are. But I want to go out there a couple more times, look around and see that stuff. But I would say 99% of the people that comment are like, what a waste, what of this, what of that. If they really wanted the stuff that they saw, they would work hard and find it someplace. Millie, back in the back there, my 63 Dodge D200 swept line. I wanted a 66. It was the year I was born. Like, I need one of those. Till I started noticing those 63s had those sweet dual headlights and then the little turn signal, down at the bottom. And I'm like, man, that looks way cooler than the 66. You know what I did? I spent probably a year and missed out probably on 5 to 6 of them. And finally found this one. It had a 318 poly in it. I made the dude an offer. He accepted it. My gooseneck was still being built. I had to go to U-Haul, tell a lie of what I was hauling because this exceeded the weight. Roll 7.5 hours to Indiana, pick it up, and I get down there, and unbeknownst to me, the engine has been pulled. They cut the cross member out with a cutting torch, cut off the gear shift with a sawzall. It was on the floor. Dropped all that. Radiator's destroyed. 2-barrel carburetor is messed up. It's just what, and I was like, dude, this was a running, yeah. He didn't tell me that he had pulled the engine in it. So I got down there and I'm like, I've already committed to driving 14 hours round trip. I looked at, I think he knocked $100 off, and then he loaded the engine and transmission into the bed of my truck, and I hauled it back. So it wasn't what I wanted. I got down there and I thought about like my time going down there. I came real close to just turning around, but I'm like, with gas, everything like that, and how long, but I found one. So what I'm saying is, you don't need someone else to find, like, don't look at a YouTube video and go, or see one, and, if the person doesn't want to sell it, then go find it on your own. Anyway, I'm going to do a video about that, kind of separate from this, very soon. But that's kind of where Bomber's Garage came from, and where we're going is going to be fun, and I hope y'all keep watching. We've got like 800 subscribers now, or followers, which I don't know the difference. Yeah, 800 followers. And then we're getting, a lot more watch time due to that video. But where the channel for the YouTube channel is going to go, it's going to be more storytelling and stuff like this, where I'm talking to y'all about things and interviewing my friends, like my buddy Eagle and his dad, about flat track racing, racing on ice, about Stilson Custom, about him being, sign painting and pinstriping and all that. Interviewed my buddy Scratch. Interviewed another guy, Papa Dragon, who has a local show where he does LS1s and BMWs and has a all-wheel drive dyno. I've interviewed Nobody Customs, both, Mr. and Miss Nobody. I've got 5 different local people I want to interview, talking about their shops and stuff. And I want to talk to people that I find extremely interesting and that have cool stuff, and show you their garages. And I did a garage tour. It did really well. People like looking at that. I like looking at other people's garages. And I think it'd be really cool to talk to them about their vehicles, what they like, the story behind them, where they got them, how their shop looks. And I think that's cool. Well, I'm in about 30 minutes. I've got stuff to do, and I got to get up early. So, thank y'all for watching. And if you do watch the channel, it's going to be a lot more chitty-chatting like this. Bye, y'all. All right. Once again, I do want to tell everyone I really appreciate y'all watching the channel. But I also want to show you, Millie. Dude, I do not drink Miller High Life beer. But that's a cool freaking vintage sign. And when I put that on there, I was like, okay, Millie. So all of my vehicles are females. I don't go around riding in dudes. But don't these lights look fantastic and very symmetrical? And what I want to do is on both of these, the inboard ones, Napa has some that are like amber lights. But yeah, I want to put those in there. And that's going to look freaking cool. So I appreciate y'all watching. It means a lot to me that y'all will watch my channel, listen to me ramble and talk. And I hope y'all enjoy that too. So I will do some more garage stuff like that, but there'll also be the chats that I do. Bye, y'all.